Hello. Welcome to this channel, English Pro Skills. Today is my new episode.
Let's talk about how you can improve your listening skills and finally understand native speakers. It seems like everyone is so focused on how to speak English, improve their pronunciation, accent, that they skip another vital part of language learning, listening. In this video, I'll share 10 valuable tips that will boost your listening skills. I'll give you really useful methods that you can start using right away. So make sure not to just listen to what I'm about to say, but actually apply it. We'll cover why listening is so important, why it is so difficult, and how to make it easier. So make sure to watch till the end. Alright guys, why is listening so important? When I just started learning the language, the one skill I was most focused on was actually listening. Okay, I totally agree that at some point in your learning journey, it's crucial to focus on speaking, and ideally to balance all aspects: reading, writing, listening, speaking. But think about how babies learn. They absorb the language by listening to what their parents say. That's how they build vocabulary. That's how they get input. It's the foundation. So without listening, you're just not giving your brain that vital skill. Secondly, why is it so hard? Why? I actually touched on this in my other video about why you still need subtitles. Make sure to check it out. But here are some key reasons. Native speakers talk fast. They speak quietly. They mumble. The audio quality isn't great. There is background noise everywhere. Guys, really don't feel bad. I asked some of my native speaker friends to listen to songs with me. And I was like, dude, can you tell me what they're saying? And they couldn't. And sometimes it was the other way around. We watched a movie in Russian with my American friend who studies Russian. And she asked me about some words. And the actors, I remember they were actually mumbling. And I was like, let's just turn on the subtitles. So guys, just because you're a native speaker, it doesn't mean that you can understand everything, especially songs and movies. So again, don't feel bad. Another big reason is you don't know the vocabulary or grammar yet. It just doesn't work like this. You listen to something every day and suddenly you start understanding everything. It just doesn't work that way. You need to study the material, especially things like idioms, phrasal verbs. The other day, my American friend asked me if I knew some slang, like dump truck or pop into the shop. If you know what this means, let me know in the comments. For example, let's read this sentence. I'm gonna pop into the shop real quick to grab some snacks. If you don't know these expressions, it doesn't mean if I read it slowly, like, I'm gonna pop into the shop real quick to grab some snacks, or I'm just gonna pop into the shop real quick to grab some snacks. It doesn't matter because you just don't know the vocabulary. You don't know these expressions. So the first thing you really need to do is to get to know them, to study some idioms, some slang. So it's not just about listening and not understanding. It's about gaining the words, the phrases, the grammar that help you make sense of what you're hearing. And finally, guys, how can you actually improve your listening? The first and the most obvious point, you need to listen. You actually need to start listening. There is passive and active listening, right? Sure, it's okay to sit in a quiet room with your headphones and listen to your favorite YouTubers. That's great, especially if you're a beginner. But if you really want to improve, you need to embrace being uncomfortable. Try listening to something when you're on the bus, cooking, exercising, walking, working, basically in noisy environments. And the second tip, choose the right source. Pick something fun and enjoyable. If you enjoy it, you'll want to keep listening. For example, I love podcasts about productivity, interviews with creative people, and language learning. So when I listen to that kind of content, it doesn't feel like learning at all. It's just passing time doing something I really like. Now it's your turn. What are your hobbies? Write down a few topics you're interested in, like anything from cooking to gaming to fashion. Then go find some content on YouTube or anywhere else in English. Okay? Tip number 3 is pick content that's useful for you. Let's say you need to pass an exam to study in another country. Then focus on exam-related content. If you're learning English for work, like in the finance field, then dive into podcasts or lessons, interviews about finance. This is called external motivation. You're not just learning English for the sake of it, you're using it to improve your life in general or reach a specific goal. That's really my favorite part, because at that point, listening is not just a skill anymore. It becomes your bridge to the future you want. When you really want to achieve something, believe me, you will start doing it. It will really drive you. Moving on, tip number 4 is start simple. When I just started learning English, I didn't jump straight into, let's say, The Office. Although, of course, The Office is great. I actually remember being obsessed with The Vampire Diaries and Supernatural, but so frustrated when I realized I couldn't even understand like 50% of what they were saying. So I stepped back a little. Instead, I began with slower, more educational videos. YouTubers who explain things clearly with subtitles. And that really helped. Guys, here is an exercise for you. Go on YouTube and search for English for beginners or intermediate English or slow English podcast. Watch just 3 minutes a day, but listen actively. Don't just play it in the background. Starting slowly is important. It's really like baking a cake. You have to build the layers one by one. You don't start with the cherry on the top. Okay, tip number 5. Catchphrases, not just words. One huge mistake learners make is trying to understand every single word. But native speakers don't talk like textbooks. They usually just say, "Did it?" Or "I don't know" becomes "I don't know." "I don't know." Or "You wanna go?" "You wanna go?" Not "Do you want to go?" I actually have a separate video all about these kind of phrases. Make sure to check it out if you want to understand native speakers better. So guys, start training your ears to hear chunks of speech, not just individual words. And believe me, your ear will adjust over time. It's really like working out. It takes practice. So don't panic if you don't get everything right away. Tip number 6 is pause and flashcard the phrases. If I didn't know a word or an idiom, I paused the video and added it to my flashcards. And not just vocabulary, phrases too. Like, "I'm beat." What does it mean? It's an informal way to say, "I'm really tired." It's kind of like saying, "I'm exhausted" or "I'm worn out." Again, worn out. It's not about the clothes. And let's look at an example. "I worked a 10-hour shift today. I'm beat." So I made flashcards with the phrase, its meaning, and a short example sentence. Okay, here is another one for you guys. "That movie was a blast." What does it mean? It means That movie was super fun. And now try using a blast in your own sentence. Share it in the comments. Tip number 7, progress, not pressure. Do not expect to understand everything on day one. Set mini goals. For example, this week I'll watch 1 episode of Friends with English subtitles. Next month I'll try watching without them. After watching educational videos for about a year, I switched to series, and that made a huge difference. I had trained my brain to be ready. Okay, moving on to another tip. Tip number 8, my favorite one. Listen to songs. If you ask me what practice boosted my listening skills the most, I'd say 100% listening to songs. It might be more of an advanced exercise, but trust me, it will explode your vocabulary. I started with all slower songs with clear lyrics like, never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. See? Give up, let down. Already 2 phrasal verbs. Then I moved on to faster pop or rock songs once I got more confident. Okay, tip number 9. Watch content you were already familiar with. When I started learning Spanish, I rewatched Harry Potter, SpongeBob and Coco in Spanish. And for Chinese, I picked cartoons like Kung Fu Panda or Mulan. I just really love cartoons set in China. And that helped so much because I already knew the story. So it was easier to follow the language. So if you want to improve your listening, rewatch your favorite shows, but this time in English. It won't feel as stressful as trying to follow something completely new. And finally, tip number 10, listen to many accents. Real English comes in variety. It comes in different accents. So don't just stick to American or British accents. Try Australian, Irish, or South African too. You need to realize that even in different parts of the USA, people speak differently. People from New York and California, they speak differently. Not talking about the parts of the UK. In here, podcasts, interviews, all of it helps. Guys, try this. Watch one video from BBC Learning English and one from an American YouTuber. Compare how they say this word. How do you say it? Can't or can't. Adjusting your ear to different accents will make a huge difference. Okay, and here is a bonus tip. Practice with fast speech. Guys, now it's time to level up. Start watching fast content with no subtitles. At first, you'll feel totally lost. That's normal. Don't panic. But over time, your brain will start adjusting, believe me. Try scenes from sitcoms or interviews, or even better, rewatch something you already seen, this time without subtitles. You won't be fluent in 6 months, or maybe you will be, and that's totally okay. Even now, I still have moments when I'm like, wait, what did they say? But I keep going. So keep listening. All right, guys, which of these tips are you gonna try first? Or do you have a favorite way to improve your listening? Let me know in the comments. Also, what resources do you recommend for other learners? Tell me your favorite podcasts, YouTubers, or series in English. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.